Hello, beautiful light workers here on planet Earth. It's Shawna L. Francis, and today is September 21st, 2022. I hope you're all doing amazing. I want to talk to you about what happened last night in the Halls of Amenti with a visit to the Ark of the Covenant. And I also want to give you some other updates here, care of Melchizedek, who I worked with this morning. I'm so glad. I'm so thankful that I am able to have this community with all of you and all the support. And I can kind of just share in these like, oh my gosh, type moments. There's just not a lot of people here in my world. There's maybe 4 or 5, in my personal world here who I can really talk to about these things. And I'm probably really blessed to have that many. But, you are very special to me, and this group, it means the world to me in terms of support, and what we're doing together is so important. And as our community grows, we are going to be ready to, take them all in with open arms. We'll be ready for this. So things are changing rapidly. So I'm excited to share with you what happened. This morning I got up at about 7 a.m. and I was working nonstop for 4 or 5 hours. I'm just down to my last few days here trying to get everything ready before I leave on Saturday. We've got the meditation tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, U.S. I really hope you can all join. I really don't know what's in store here. I'm sure it will flow beautifully, and I believe it's going to be really energetic, and I bet that we'll all be able to feel the power of Melchizedek, Kryon, and whomever else is working with us to help amplify the light. So just tune into this YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. I'm going to push live the meditation video at that time, and we will go through it together. I'm going to pre-record it, and then I'm going to push that live at that time, and we'll all go through that together. And if you are somewhere else in the world where this is just not convenient for you, or you're unable to attend, no problem. I fully believe that you do this on your own. It's still very powerful and very necessary at this time. So don't feel bad if you're missing this time. I mean, this energy, this energy is omnipotent here. It will always be. And, somebody will watch this video in 1 or 2 or 3 years and still be able to feel that energy and to contribute to the collective in that way. All right. So Melchizedek came in and just said, Shawna, we implore you to take the afternoon off and get some much needed rest. You are doing preparation that you are not conscious of in your regular waking state. We need your strength, please. So yeah, I've been, like I said, running like a crazy woman this morning. It's very important, Shawna, that you do not overtax your system, and that you maintain a level of peace and vibrancy on behalf of the collective. Your energy is amplified through the collective, through the grid. You are a beacon in this way. Just a friendly reminder. We know that you already know this, just helping you stay on track. All this 3D stuff, we have these, responsibilities and these things. And yeah, I've got to get this stuff done. I did ask my guides for help in me being efficient, and I do believe that it's helped. And I've also reached out to my management company and requested some help in the next few days with cleaning and final preparation. So I'm realizing today, like, I can't do all this by myself. And it's been super productive. I'm getting things done. All right. So I guess for this afternoon, I'm going to head to the beach or go get a massage or do something nice for myself, even though there's so much I wanted to get done today. I think it can wait until tomorrow. I think everything will be fine. Okay, so I'm going to do it. I'll take the afternoon off. I asked them, well, they said the Ark of the Covenant. How did you feel about this? And I want to get into this later. But I had expressed, well, quite honestly, just some awe and amazement and a little bit of fear. And I had also asked if I should share what happened with all of you today. And they said, dear one, you are fully protected. There is nothing that can touch your light, absolutely nothing. Please just move forward confidently and bravely without fear. And yes, please share all the details with your constituents who are eagerly awaiting the results of your visit to the Halls of Amenti last night. And then they continued on here. We have many more big plans in store for you. It's important that you check in with us at least, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. Please make this a focus. We are working toward lofty goals, and there is much to do. So much coordination and preparation. So this has definitely been the theme the last 5-6 days. And regarding the meditation tomorrow, Melchizedek said, tomorrow we shall rock the foundation of the field on the planet. Do not doubt this, Shawna. One person can change the world forever, and a group is exponentially more powerful. So remember, guys, that they are going to match our energy here on the planet, whatever we're able to muster. It's important that everybody believe it and know it and feel it, and to be holding an intention and focus. We are very much looking forward to working with the collective in this way, and we thank everybody in advance for their attendance. Oh my gosh, this is happening. And then they said, we'd like to conclude with some energy work on your field. So I sat there again for maybe 20 minutes, and I just let them come in and just do their thing. And that was, I turned that off and basically went right into this, into making this video, preparing for this with the transcriptions and such. All right, Halls of Amenti, you guys, the Ark of the Covenant. Still, I hadn't had much chance to do research on this, just too much going on. So it was late last night, probably 8:30 or 9 p.m. before I was able to sit down and ask for access into the Halls of Amenti. And, Melchizedek had said, just really have extreme reverence for this ability to get in here, like it's an invitation situation, and just be very cognizant of that and be very respectful. So, what I did is, as soon as I was done with that process, I got my phone out and I recorded everything I could remember. So in the moment, I'm just going with the flow and in this, altered state of consciousness, entering the Halls of Amenti. So I've got my notes in front of me so I don't forget what happened. All right. So I say my invocation. I ask for access into the Halls of Amenti. And I see these two very large doors. They're simple doors with just these black round knobs, but they're giant. They're like 15 feet tall or something. And I've seen these doors before. I don't always see these doors when I get into the Halls of Amenti, but I have a couple of times. So I'm like, all right, here we go. So, in my mind's eye, I'm opening these doors and I'm just bathed in this golden light. It's very bright in there, and it takes me a moment to kind of get acclimated. But I go ahead and I walk through the doors and I shut them behind me, or they shut behind me. And I just stood at the doors and I just had my hands on the doors, and I was just acclimating to whatever this was, whatever this realm was. So I open my eyes and I'm getting a feel for the energy there, and I see this Ark of the Covenant, just like in the pictures, like gold and winged beings on top, and just gorgeous, but it's a ways away. I'm gonna have to walk to it. So I just get my bearings here, and in fact, I drop to my knees in my mind's eye here. And I am just like, okay, am I ready for this? Thank you so much, team. Thank you so much. And I'm just taking my time with this. And I realize that I am wearing a brown robe with a hood, the exact same thing I used to see myself wearing when I was working with Siri, my Pleiadian guide. And I believe this has been 2 years now, 2 years ago. I read Bringers of the Dawn. There's a book that was channeled, Barbara Marciniak, I believe is the name. I read that book, and this female Pleiadian came through and said, Shawna, I want to work with you every day. So I have a history of this, let's do this stuff every day. Many folks that I've worked with over the last 4 years have wanted kind of like a daily ritual, like a routine. It forces me to stay on track. It's not just like do this when you want to. It's like we want to see you every day. And I'm like, all right. So so I saw myself in this brown. It's almost like a burlap type feel to it. And back a couple years ago, Siri had gifted me like this necklace with a big metal heart on it that hung right over my heart. And she said that that represented truth. So I see myself, and maybe, you know, I remember seeing myself in a hall back in the day when I was working with Siri with this robe on, like, and maybe it's the same place, the Halls of Amenti. I never knew what that was. Did not recognize it, but I'm wearing this robe and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got this robe on. I'm looking around for Siri and she's there. She's in the halls with me. She's in the Halls of Amenti with me, with the Ark of the Covenant ahead of us. So I stand up and I'm basically telling her I'm kind of scared. And she, didn't say anything, but like telepathically or whatever, she gave me the go ahead, like, you're going to be fine. This is, wonderful, So I'm like, okay. So I walk forward toward the Ark of the Covenant and I look down and my brown robe has changed to this beautiful, deep, rich, purple velour type robe. Same idea, big hood with gold accents, gold trim on this thing, gold trim around the hood, gold trim down the front. And I've got a golden rope around my waist. And this is what I'm, wearing to basically walk up to the Ark of the Covenant. Okay. I'm just going, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. In my mind, as I'm walking toward this thing, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm even in this trance state, I'm freaking out about what's happening. Well, I get up to this box and it's incredible and it's beautiful and it's bright. It's like glowing and it's way bigger than I thought it would be. And actually it's sitting up very high. It's like up here. It's like starts up here. And I would say about 6 feet long, 4 or 5 feet tall, and maybe 3 feet wide. So it's bigger than I was expecting it to be. And on the top, I remember seeing kind of like gargoyle type faces with red ruby eyes, round rubies in the eyes. Last night after this experience, I kind of looked at some of the pictures online of the Ark, and they were more like winged angelic beings on the top, but I was seeing like a dog / gargoyle type face, but also with wings. I have to say, I didn't get that good of a look like at the rest of the details and that kind of thing. Because what happened when I got up to this thing is I levitated up to where I was, standing more above it and I could see the top of it. So I'm kind of freaking out here. So I've levitated up so I can see this lid. And I reached out for it and in my mind's eye, and I touched it and I felt this energy course through my body. It wasn't like a tidal wave. It was more subtle than I thought it was going to be. I thought physically as I was sitting here, kind of experiencing this, that it would be more like crazy energy, but it wasn't. It was more subtle, but it definitely, it took my breath away. It took my breath away. It's like, wow. And it just like a wah, 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 wah type energy, but subtle. And I'm just being present with that and trying not to make any assumptions or jump the gun on this thing, just like really being there. And then just as Melchizedek said, in terms of this, this light nectar, this divine nectar is going to light me up from the inside. Quite literally, I see myself here in this robe where my eyes just start to shoot light out of them and my mouth starts to shoot light out of it. And like I've got light coming out of my fingertips and my feet and my my face. And it is, I'm watching this going, what the heck? I'm freaking out over this, like watching this process happen and just, like as an observer almost, kind of there, but then also being able to be like a third party watching it. So super incredible. Well, lo and behold, this lid starts to come off the top of this ark. This lid starts to slowly slide away from me off of it. And again, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I didn't know what to expect. And so the lid's off, and I look down inside of this, and I see something that is folded up, and it's like an olive green color. And I look in there a little bit closer, and I am seeing scales. I'm seeing scales on this olive green thing that's folded up in here. And I reached in and I touched it, and I thought, wow, this is like snake skin. This is like snake skin. And I go ahead and I reach in and I pull this thing out, and it is the skin of a reptilian, like the body of a reptilian. This thing is huge. I'm holding, it's been folded up inside of the Ark of the Covenant for me. And I pull this thing out, and it is the it's like the empty skin of a reptilian with the head, you know, there's no life there, and it's kind of been flattened, but it is like, I see the belly, I see the scales, I see the claws, there's a tail, and I just start bawling. I'm like sitting here on my couch in this yurt right here, and I start crying. I really, consciously, I don't know what this is. Obviously, you know, these aren't the tablets that Moses carved the 10 Commandments in. You know, this is very specific to me. And I'm just crying. I'm crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm thinking, you know, is this my twin flame? Is this my twin flame's body? He was reptilian at a certain point. He's not now. He is not an embodiment right now, and he's part of my team. But there was a point where he was reptilian, and I was working with him energetically here a few years ago. That was kind of what entered my mind. It's like, maybe that's him. What is this? What is this? So, I mean, I'm seeing cheekbones, like ridges above the brow bone there. No eyes or anything, but like this. And I went ahead and I folded it all back up, and I put it back in the Ark. And the lid just kind of slides back and closes. And I see myself, you know, going back to the ground. I'm not levitating anymore. I'm kind of going back to the surface, and I am kind of backing away from the Ark. And then I turn around and I realize that I'm no longer wearing the purple robe. I'm back in my brown burlap robe. Excuse me. And I get to the doors, and I once again, I get down and I kneel again, and I'm just like in reverence here, and just thank you so much for this vision. Thank you so much for this opportunity to experience this. And the doors open, and I exit the doors, and as I'm exiting, I realize just how bright it was in this room, because when I leave the hall, it is very dark. It's very dark, and I exit there, and the door shut behind me. And you know what I've started doing here in the last couple of weeks with the halls is I say, you know, thank you so much. You know, what is it that I needed to understand or know about this vision? You know, please help me understand this. And a voice came right in and said, you know, and I thanked them so much for the opportunity that they came in, and they said, Shawna, this was your avatar. This was your avatar. It was your body. And they said, a very long time ago, I decided to leave the reptilians behind. Leave the reptilian world behind after many, many, many incarnations as a reptilian. I was disgusted with what the reptilians had been doing, and I was ready to work for the light. So at a certain point, I just decided I'm no longer going to be a part of what they're doing. And I asked and I prayed to leave that work behind and begin my work with the light. And this is when the seraphim took me in and rehabilitated my soul. So they let me become a seraphim, which is a type of angelic being. Okay, so I'll pause here and give some context. So this is not hugely surprising to me. I know that I have, obviously, my mission in this life is to help emancipate negative reptilian energy from the planet. I have also been told that I am seraphim. I've also been told that I'm a seraphim in training. So this is all coming together for me, like these little bits and pieces that I've gotten over the last 4 years, all culminating into this moment. So I'm basically a traitor to the reptilians, and I am working on behalf of the light now. I am a seraphim in training. They said I've been working on behalf of the light now for a very long time, almost as a secret weapon against the reptilians. I've been preparing for this particular lifetime for many, many lifetimes, for a very long time, putting my skills to work. So all of us here who are watching these videos and drawn to this frequency, and if you know yourself as a light worker, you have also worked many, many, many lifetimes to be at this certain point helping with this ascension. It's just such a monumental thing. I don't think we can really fully grasp the importance of what's going on here and how critical it is. They said that I have special DNA and special energetic imprints that will be activated in time as needed, especially when I come together with my twin flame. It will be cataclysmic, they said, to the dark. And I have heard this before, like working with my twin flame energy, we're going to activate and it'll be like a nuclear explosion of energy somehow. So I take all this with a grain of salt. All of this is documented in my journals, my stacks and stacks of journals. I've had a lot of conversations about my twin flame, this energy. And for many of us on the planet right now, we're coming together with our twin flames in different ways. And the energy is it's a force to be reckoned with, this twin flame energy stuff that's going on right now. So many of us are coming together. It does not mean that your twin flame is an embodiment. Mine is not, and he is not of Earth. All right, he is etheric, and he is part of my team, and he's with me all the time. They explained to me what I was doing here and the seriousness of this, and I started to get a vision of who I was speaking to. A face started to come in my mind's eye, and I could see all I could really see are the eyes, like these little pinched eyes, like these little beady eyes. And it's almost like the skin, I'm sorry, I'm engrossing everybody, like came together, and it was like just these little beady eyes, and I could see it was like feminine, female type. And it surprised me because I figured I was just talking to Melchizedek. I'm like, oh my gosh, who are you? And they said, I'm a guide of the Halls of Amenti. And I said, well, thank you so much for this information and for allowing me into the halls. I said to her, how long ago did I leave the reptilian race? And she told me 200,000 years ago. 200,000 years ago, I left the reptilian race. And I know these races have been around millions and millions of years. We're supposedly on our 7th batch of humanity on planet Earth itself, 7th batch. So I guess 200,000 years in the grander scheme of things isn't that big of a deal. But for my little puny human mind here, that seems just crazy. And, I have these visions of, and memories working with John the Baptist. And I work with John the Baptist even today, and since I've been awakened. So even coming in, working with Jesus and John at the time of Jesus, being part of this group here, many of us are here again on the planet right now for this ascension, but that was a measly 2,000 years ago. That was a blink of an eye ago. So I can't even fathom like 200,000 years working toward this goal in this lifetime, or at least for what's happening right now. And maybe it will take me a couple of lifetimes to actually completely fulfill my mission. It's something I want to ask my team about. So, and I've been many, I've obviously incarnated many times in 200,000 years as many positive races, including being Pleiadian at one point. I've seen that clearly. but always I have been seraphim in the background, seraphim in training. I asked this female what her name was, and she said Ganna. Ganna, her name was Ganna. And she said that once I fulfill this mission, that I will basically get my wings and I will be a full-fledged angel. I have so many mixed emotions about this. You know, what does this mean? What does this mean? You know, and I also have this horrible fear of failure. So that whole fear is kicking in. Okay, well, you know, this is my graduation. This is kind of my thesis. This is it. This is the grand finale here. So I'm just feeling a lot of pressure. And they've been preparing me. They've been preparing me to know this. I mean, they're helping me understand who and what I am and what I'm doing here. And this really brought it all together in such a impactful way. I'm just, yeah, it's incredible. So once I complete this mission, I become a full-fledged angel. Well, that is my story, you guys. That's what happened with the Ark of the Covenant last night in the Halls of Amenti. I'm just going to continue to be heads down here and doing what we're doing and trying to have fun, keeping it light, keeping it vibrant, being here for all of you. And thank you so much for being here for me. I love all your comments. So touching. Even next week, I get back and I've got more travel coming up and such a busy time. But anyway, I want to just thank you for taking the time to watch these videos and to provide me with all your comments and support each other in that way as well. It means everything. All right, team. We will see you tomorrow. I don't think I'll do a separate video. The only video I'll be posting tomorrow will be the meditation, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there. We should be able to chat. Like I said, I'll set it as an instant premiere. And it'll launch together. All right, team, I'm looking forward to that. All right, I love you all so much. Mwah.